Every relationship will face conflict, not because the relationship is bad, not because love is missing, not because they are wrong for each other, but because every relationship brings together two different inner worlds, two histories, two nervous systems, two sets of needs, two ways of interpreting silence, tone, disappointment, responsibility, and pain. So the question is not whether conflict will happen. It will. The deeper question is, what does conflict reveal when it does happen? Because conflict has a way of showing what ordinary moments can hide. When things are calm, people may appear patient, kind, generous, and emotionally mature. But when there is disagreement, disappointment, pressure, or hurt, something deeper comes forward. How do people speak when they are upset? Do they listen, or only defend? Do they try to understand, or try to win? Do they repair after pain, or pretend nothing happened? Do they protect the relationship, even while disagreeing? Or do they use conflict as permission to become cruel? This is why conflict reveals the truth about a relationship. Not the whole truth, but an important truth. It shows whether the relationship has enough emotional safety, respect, humility, and repair to survive difficult moments. In the previous episode, we explored the quiet damage of unspoken expectations. We looked at how hidden needs, invisible tests, silent resentment, and unclear boundaries can create distance between people. Often, those unspoken expectations eventually become conflict. The disappointment that was never named becomes irritation. The need that was never expressed becomes accusation. The boundary that was never set becomes resentment. And when everything finally comes out, it may come out louder, sharper, or colder than it needed to. This is why conflict is often not only about the issue in front of us. It is about everything that has been building underneath. One reason conflict reveals so much is that it shows whether people feel safe enough to be honest. In a healthy relationship, conflict does not have to mean emotional danger. It can mean something needs attention. Something needs clarification. Something needs repair. Something needs to be understood more deeply. But in an unhealthy emotional climate, conflict feels threatening. It feels like rejection. It feels like attack. It feels like the beginning of abandonment. It feels like proof that the relationship is not safe, so people react from fear. One person raises their voice, another shuts down. One becomes defensive, another becomes anxious. One brings up the past, another withdraws completely. And suddenly, the conversation is no longer about understanding. It becomes about survival. This is why the same disagreement can look very different in different relationships. In one relationship, a hard conversation leads to honesty and repair. In another, the same issue leads to blame, silence, punishment, or emotional distance. The issue may matter, but the emotional environment matters even more. Conflict reveals the climate of the relationship. Is there respect here? Is there patience here? Is there room for both people's feelings? Is there enough trust to speak honestly without being destroyed? If the answer is yes, conflict can become a doorway to deeper understanding. If the answer is no, conflict becomes a repeated injury. Another reason conflict reveals the truth is that it shows how people handle emotional discomfort. Many people can be kind when they feel comfortable, but maturity is tested when comfort disappears. Can someone stay respectful when they feel misunderstood? Can they listen when they feel criticized? Can they pause when they want to react? Can they admit fault without collapsing into shame? Can they care about another person's pain without immediately making themselves the victim? These are not easy skills, but they matter deeply, because relationships are not only built in affectionate moments, they are built in uncomfortable moments. When someone says, "That hurt me," when someone says, "I need to talk about something difficult," when someone says, "I do not feel heard," when someone says, "This pattern is affecting me," what happens next matters. If the response is mockery, dismissal, rage, contempt, or avoidance, the relationship learns something. It learns that honesty is unsafe. It learns that pain will not be received. It learns that difficult truth will be punished. And over time, people stop bringing the truth forward. They may stay in the relationship, but they become less emotionally present. Conflict also reveals whether someone values being right more than being connected. This is one of the most common problems in relationships. A disagreement begins with a real concern, but quickly, both people start defending their position. They collect evidence. They correct details. They argue about who said what. They focus on tone, timing, and exact wording, and sometimes those details matter. But if the entire conversation becomes a courtroom, connection disappears. One person is trying to prove they were hurt. The other is trying to prove they did not mean harm. One is trying to show the impact. The other is trying to protect their intention. And both may be telling part of the truth, but neither feels understood. This is where emotional maturity asks a difficult question. Do I want to win this argument, or do I want to understand what is happening between us? Winning may feel powerful in the moment, but if winning leaves the other person feeling small, unsafe, or unseen, the relationship loses something. A person can be technically correct and still emotionally careless. They can win the point and lose trust. They can prove their memory and still ignore the wound. This does not mean truth does not matter. It does, but truth in relationships is not only factual, it is also emotional. What happened matters, but so does how it affected the person. A healthy relationship makes room for both. Another thing conflict reveals is whether people know how to repair. Repair is one of the most important skills in any relationship, because no relationship avoids all hurt. Even caring people misunderstand each other. Even good people say things poorly. Even mature people react badly sometimes. The question is not whether mistakes happen. The question is, what happens after? Do people return to the conversation? Do they apologize sincerely? Do they take responsibility? Do they ask what needs to change? Do they make effort to rebuild safety? Or do they pretend time alone will fix what was never addressed? Many relationships suffer not because conflict happened, but because repair never happened. There was an argument, then silence, then routine, then pretending, then distance. No one says what still hurts. No one names what changed. No one asks what needs to be repaired. The relationship continues, but something remains unresolved underneath. And when the next conflict comes, the old wound returns. This is why unresolved conflict becomes heavier over time. People are not only reacting to today, they are reacting to every previous moment that was never repaired. A small issue becomes large because it is carrying history. A simple sentence becomes painful because it touches a pattern. A disagreement becomes exhausting because both people know this is not the first time. This is the natural midpoint of the episode. Conflict does not destroy relationships by itself. Unrepaired conflict does. A difficult conversation can actually strengthen a relationship if both people approach it with honesty, humility, and care. It can reveal what needs attention. It can bring hidden pain into the open. It can clarify expectations. It can expose unhealthy patterns. It can help two people understand each other more deeply. But this only happens when conflict is handled with respect. Without respect, conflict becomes emotional damage. Respect means we do not use someone's vulnerability against them. It means we do not humiliate them just because we are angry. It means we do not attack their character when we are discussing a behavior. It means we do not turn one issue into a complete judgment of who they are. There is a difference between saying, "This behavior hurt me," and saying, "You are always selfish." There is a difference between saying, "I need more support," and saying, "You never care about anyone but yourself." There is a difference between saying, "I felt dismissed in that moment," and saying, "You are impossible to talk to." The first kind of language opens a door. The second kind often closes it. This does not mean we must speak perfectly. Pain does not always come out neatly. But if a relationship is going to remain healthy, both people must care about how they speak when they are hurt. Another important truth is that conflict reveals power. In some relationships, conflict is not a fair conversation. One person always dominates. One person always apologizes. One person always gets blamed. One person's feelings always matter more. One person's anger controls the room. One person's silence punishes the other. This kind of pattern is serious because conflict should not become a place where one person loses their voice. A relationship is not healthy if peace only exists when one person stays quiet. It is not healthy if one person must abandon their feelings to keep the other calm. It is not healthy if disagreement always leads to fear. It is not healthy if someone uses anger, guilt, withdrawal, or blame to control the outcome. Healthy conflict requires enough equality for both people to be human. Both people can speak. Both people can listen. Both people can be wrong. Both people can be hurt. Both people can take responsibility. When only one person is allowed to have pain, the relationship becomes unbalanced. And when conflict consistently makes one person smaller, it is not just conflict. It may be emotional harm. This is why we must be honest about the difference between difficult conflict and destructive conflict. Difficult conflict can be uncomfortable, but it still has respect. Destructive conflict removes dignity. Difficult conflict may include strong emotions, but it does not require cruelty. Destructive conflict uses emotions as weapons. Difficult conflict can lead to repair. Destructive conflict creates fear, shame, and distance. Not every relationship can be improved simply by communicating better. Some relationships need boundaries. Some need outside support. Some need distance. Some need an ending. But in relationships where both people are willing, conflict can become a teacher. It can show where communication is weak. It can show where expectations are unclear. It can show where trust has been damaged. It can show where old wounds are being triggered. It can show where both people need more maturity. The goal is not to become a couple, family, or friendship that never disagrees. That is not realistic. The goal is to become people who can disagree without destroying safety. People who can say hard things without forgetting each other's humanity. People who can pause before reacting. People who can come back after a painful moment and say, "I want to understand what happened. I did not handle that well. I am still hurt, but I do not want us to keep wounding each other. I need us to talk differently. I care about this relationship enough to repair, not just move on." These sentences matter because they change the purpose of conflict. Conflict is no longer a battlefield. It becomes a place of truth. Not easy truth, not comfortable truth, but necessary truth. And sometimes that truth is painful. Sometimes conflict reveals that a relationship is stronger than people realized. It shows that both people can face difficulty and still choose respect. But sometimes conflict reveals that a relationship has been surviving on avoidance. It shows that there is no safety for honesty. It shows that one person is carrying the emotional weight alone. It shows that repair is being requested, but not returned. Both kinds of truth are important, Because clarity is better than pretending. If conflict reveals something painful, that does not always mean the relationship is doomed, but it does mean something needs attention, and ignoring it will not make it healthier. So as we close this episode, remember this: conflict is not automatically a sign that a relationship is failing. Sometimes it is a sign that something important is trying to be seen. The issue is not whether people disagree. The issue is how they treat each other when they disagree. Do they protect each other's dignity? Do they listen for meaning? Do they take responsibility? Do they repair? Do they care more about the relationship than the victory? Because conflict reveals the emotional foundation underneath the connection. It shows whether there is respect, safety, humility, and love that can survive discomfort. And if those things are present, conflict can become a path toward deeper understanding. But if they are absent, conflict becomes a warning. In the next episode, we will explore the difference between love and emotional dependency, and why sometimes what people call love may actually be fear, need, control, or the terror of being alone. If this video gave you something to reflect on, take a moment to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. And before you leave, ask yourself this: when conflict happens, do I try to understand, repair, and grow? Or do I only try to protect myself and win?